We are not throwing no greens on a plate on Thanksgiving.
I'm gonna throw greens.
You throw greens for me. You get an extra serving for me this Thanksgiving.
I'm gonna throw down some green beans.
That's okay.
Bro. Welcome to episode 17 of the Archive Podcast. It's good to be here, man.
Yeah, it is. Took a week off again.
Yeah,
it's okay.
It is okay.
Yeah,
it is okay.
It is perfectly fine.
It is. 17 episodes is a lot. Mm-hmm. I feel like we say that every time, but it is.
Yes,
it's impressive. I'm proud of us.
And we haven't really hit the portal of guests yet. We've kind of been figuring this thing out over the span of a few months, and we want to make sure we have it pretty much 95% of the way done before we really start bringing in guests, I feel like.
Totally
but
agree.
We do have some guests in mind for both of us that we really want to make sure we hit soon. So
absolutely,
that will be very fun.
I think absolutely. So we're going to experiment this week.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to introduce some segments.
Yes.
I think segments are fun for a number of reasons, but why did you come up with that idea? Like, what was the impetus?
I think whenever I envision like the concept of a podcast now in 2024, it's a show. It's a thing that there's multiple segments. I think of some of my favorite podcasts, and most of them have segments where I look forward to every week, and I kind of know what I'm getting when I tune into the show. And so I'm hoping that can be the case for this podcast, is like people kind of know what they're getting. Even though they may not know exactly what they're getting week to week, they kind of know what to expect, and they have something to look forward to. And so I would love to introduce some segments into this show. With that being said, we're going to kind of throw things at the wall and see what sticks when it comes to segments. So if you are a consistent listener, throw out some ideas for some segments we should do. It can pertain to life, business, dad life, content creation, social media. It can pertain to anything. But I would love to integrate some weekly segments into this show.
Well, I'm going to throw out the one for this week.
Okay.
How do you feel? So we're going to do segment one, few of our favorite things. Okay. So I'm thinking of course of the song. These are a few of my favorite things. Julie Andrews, the GOAT herself. Mm-hmm. So favorite things this week, like what is something that you have recently added to your kit? Maybe something that's been in your kit for a long time, or something you've had in your life for a long time that you're just enjoying more than usual this week. What is it?
Let me think here. I would say right now, and it's not even like a piece of gear that I have that I'm like falling in love with, but man, we did a podcast episode on this, the whole podcast episode, the new iPhone. I touched in it on that episode. I was teetering with 254 out of 256 gigabytes used on my old iPhone. Now I have an entire terabyte to work with, and oh my gosh, being able to take photos and videos of my family, of my daughter, I took a video of the snow because it snowed for the first time this winter. And I just took a video of it, and being able to take a video of it.
And
amazing.
Not have to delete something else first.
Yes, it's so good. And then shifting a little bit, like pertaining to this week, Thanksgiving's coming up a week from today. I have something very exciting that I'm pumped about, and I can't wait to share it on next week's episode. But I get a turkey bowl together. I try to do it every year with my friends from back home. Football turkey bowl on Thanksgiving Day.
Because I'm thinking I'm thinking KFC bowl.
That's okay.
No, sorry.
This is a football game.
I'm tracking with you now.
This year, so last year, that was I think our second turkey bowl we've done since I graduated high school. This year will be our third. And last year went great. My team won. Just throwing that out there. This year...
You go ahead and brag, bro. Let's go. Come on.
We are expanding, and we have 4 teams. Last year we had 2. So there will be 30 retired athletes that should not be running at full speed, that should not be cutting. There will be many hamstrings pulled. But I am very thankful for that this upcoming week, that there will be like over 30 of us playing on Thanksgiving Day at 8 a.m. at the high school. That pumps me up.
Listen, I appreciate that on just like a lot of levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. I appreciate that on a lot of levels. Favorite things this week. So my birthday is the day after Thanksgiving this year. And so my in-laws, because they're the greatest in the world, feel bad for me because I get sandwiched between Thanksgiving and Christmas every year. So they're like, okay, first off, we're going to do your birthday celebration like 2 weekends ahead of time.
Yeah.
Favorite food, all that stuff. And then they surprised me with this Ember mug, which I've been shamelessly plugging to everyone that I've talked to in the last, I don't know, like 100 hours of the week. Listen, man, there's something about, here's the thing. As a parent, and I know you know this, sometimes because of the small people in our lives, our coffee, it's the last priority. And so we fix it, we're pumped about it, and then we set it aside. And then what happens? It gets cold.
Yep.
I don't always like drinking out of a Yeti though, because that keeps it at a temperature that's like the surface level of the sun for 6 hours. This little guy though, however, has a small heater in the bottom, wirelessly charges on like a little like coaster looking thing.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
so this is my first time seeing it up close.
And so anyways, it'll keep it at 135 degrees for an hour and a half. And I normally get 2 usages out of it. So I just bring it with me to the office. Like when I'm done with my first cup, boop, put it in, and it automatically detects when there's liquid in it, and then it automatically turns off when the liquid's gone.
Really?
I'm just saying.
My wife complains, I would say 4 out of the 7 days of the week about her cold coffee because she ends up making the cup of coffee and then doing some mom stuff, and then she's like, "Look, I had cold coffee this morning."
And what do we know about it? When you put it in the microwave, it degrades the quality.
It does degrade the quality.
It degrades it.
And I will say, this is a little bit of a trick. I want it to seem like I'm drinking coffee right now, but it's actually water.
Let's go.
Because I've had a lot of coffee today, and I need to not drink anymore. So this is water, but I want it to look like coffee.
This is actual coffee. I've had this is my third cup today.
Yeah.
And I've also had a flat white. My
heart is pounding fast, so I didn't want to up it anymore.
I will say though, like this is their smallest mug, so this is 10 ounces. So I'm not like drinking like the big cups of coffee.
Yeah.
So I'm going to justify it that way. But anyways, highly recommend, like, especially if you're looking for something that's an easy gift for the coffee lover in your life. Like I quite literally wash it out, put it on the little coaster thing, and it charges.
Yeah.
And in like 2 hours for the next day. It is just such a simple thing that I can already tell next week we're going to be off work with the girls, chilling at the house. Like this is going to be a game changer.
Yeah.
So.
I want to throw this out too. This is fun. For someone listening, let's say a wife, what would be a go-to gift for their husband this?
All right. Listen, I got ideas.
Okay.
I got ideas on ideas on ideas. First, and this is mainly because of my DMs recently. I've never been an influencer before, but I wear my best dad ever or greatest dad ever, whatever, shirt. And so it's a crew neck. It's a black crew neck with white stitching right here on the breast. And it is from my wife's cousin. She runs a custom like stitching business.
Yeah.
Incredible. And she took my daughter's handwriting for Father's Day and then had it stitched in. I wear it everywhere.
I saw that.
Listen,
I love it so
I'm
much.
establishing dominance as a dad. Okay. But anyways, so I've had several people reach out who've seen me wear it in some of my reels and stuff. And they're like, "Hey, where did you get that sweatshirt? I want to get that for, my partner for Christmas." And I'm like, "Well, you need to go see Sydney Stitches." So definitely go with that. I would also recommend a couple other ideas. If you're looking for something in the $100 range, the Ember mug, great idea. If you're looking for something maybe in the $20, $25 range, something that is like clutch is always a good pair of like mechanics gloves. Do you know the ones I'm talking about? Like the actual mechanics brand?
Oh yeah.
Because they're just really good for this time of year. Or I'm always a fan of a good scarf or toboggan.
Okay. My wife got me this for Father's Day, my first one this year. And I would assume this is not very expensive. She got me a golf ball with my daughter's face on it, and it says "Best Dad Ever." That made my year, and it's over there on my desk. I love that thing.
That's pretty cool.
And my dog is in here for this episode. Come here, honey. Come on. So if you see a dog running around, this is Honey. This is her debut on the Archive podcast. Yep.
I have to say, Honey is hands down, my favorite Office edition so far.
All right.
She makes a guest appearance like once every couple months.
Yep.
I love seeing her. She is, and people think their dog's well behaved. No, they are not like Honey. Honey comes in here. She comes to greet me like the regal woman that she is.
She'll make you feel important.
She makes me feel important. And then she immediately goes and sits behind your
Just
lumbar
like
in your chair like a pillow.
Yeah, she's great. I will say the thing I've noticed about bringing Honey to the studio is that it is a shot clock, and usually around this time of the day, she does have to go outside, and that's an issue, and I haven't figured that one out. So that's why I don't bring her all the time, because I realize, she's going to have to go to the bathroom at some point, and there's really not a great place to take her.
No.
So that's why I bring her once a month, pretty much, or once every few weeks.
I am excited, though, on the days that you bring her. It just is like list me up. List me up. All right. So in today's episode, we're going to get into like a 10, maybe 12-minute conversation around gratitude. Mm-hmm. When we were talking about today, the thing that came to my mind was like, hey, I keep having these conversations. And it's about, being a business owner is difficult. It doesn't matter if you're 60. It doesn't matter if you're 16 or anywhere in between. Being an adult is difficult. Working for a massive corporation is difficult.
Yeah.
But the one common denominator, I feel like, between all of these different demographics of people is the power of gratitude. Now, here's the deal. I also know that sounds like super self-help, self-improvement.
Right.
But I also can't help fight against how true it's proven for me. Mm-hmm. So I guess what I want to throw out there to you is a question. Could you take a stab at defining gratitude?
Yes.
For people? And then maybe we can have a conversation 100%.
About it. And this is something I've really, really, really learned this last year of my life. And I think it's because I've become a dad, and the clarification on what it means to support myself and my family has just been amplified, I think, since becoming a dad. And what it has done, it has made me extremely organically like grateful for all the people who have supported me. And so what I mean by that is like whenever I became a dad, I kind of like, anytime I worked with a client or anytime like someone hired me, like my level of gratitude seemed to be amplified immediately, because what I realized is like they're not just doing it, or what I'm getting out of it is not just like a job. I'm able to support my family from it. And so this past year I've been practicing this is like just simple things. So like, man, like one of our clients brought us in like hats the other day. And just that like simple thing, just that simple like token of appreciation that they have for us, and they brought in like their logo hats and beanies to us. That is one of the most simple ways, especially as a business owner, to show your appreciation for your customers or your clients, or maybe just the people who support you in other ways. Give them something that they can like actually like tangibly hold, and just a reminder of how grateful that you are for them. Like I think as a business owner, that's one of the easiest ways to show just a little ounce of gratitude. This is something you did last year around, I can't remember, I think it was around Christmas time. You brought me a box, and you just walk me through maybe from your perspective of why that was important and what was in it.
My mom was always really good when I was growing up about showing like my teachers, my piano instructor, whomever was important in my life, Sunday school teachers, whatever, like gratitude, especially around the holidays. And so she would do things like ornaments or whatever. And it was just something I always assumed was like a thing. And then when I graduated from high school, I remember my piano teacher, Miss Aubrey, looking at me, and she's like, I have literally like 16 ornaments on my tree that are just from you, not including your siblings. And it was that moment that I realized like, oh, my mom had left an impression through me on, these people that I'd had throughout my life. And so I've just kind of carried that into adulthood of saying like, if someone has meant something to me, I want to show tangibly just a small token of appreciation. And I think that that's where that comes from, is just wanting to say, hey, just so that we're clear here, I appreciate you being part of my life.
Yeah. And you brought a box that had a mug, a book in there, a handwritten note. And that's all it was. It's just kind of like, hey, thanks for being a part of this journey that I'm trying to figure out, like, on a weekly, monthly, yearly basis. And I hope you stick around. Like, that's the main thing. And so that's little things I've done to show my gratitude towards the people I get to work with. Just a few months ago, like, I was passing through a town that I know I had some clients in. And so I stopped and got them, like, coffee and donuts without them, like, knowing. And it wasn't like, hey, like, give me more work. It was just like, man, like, you guys have been here for me. Like, I just want to, like, show you that I acknowledge that in the littlest form. And, like, hopefully this just gives you a little jolt of energy throughout the day to make your day a little bit better. As a business owner, those are ways that I've really shown my gratitude towards other people. Is just, I do think giving someone, like, something tangible is a very easy and impactful way to, like, brighten someone's day.
And I think it's incredibly tactical. You know, people want to talk about, I'm nervous to give someone a gift because I don't want it to look like, quid pro quo or, like a favor for a favor. And it's like, no. The reason that gratitude is one of the most practical and tactical things that you can do as a business owner is simply because of this. At the end of the day, business is personal. It has to be. Like, our ability to do something that leads to commerce has to be human. And I think us showing gratitude, which I would define as something that you do without any expectation of return. It is just simply an overflow of a feeling of compassion or thankfulness for someone. That is really practical because it shows, I think it signals to the person that you're giving a gift to, hey, what we have between us isn't merely a transaction of monetary value. And so that's where I think, like, at the end of the day, when I learned that from my mom, like, I just picked it up from her. I have noticed, though, that her entire family does that. Like, all her siblings, like my aunt is a pharmaceutical rep. And that's kind of part of the gig, like taking, clients out to breakfast or whatever, bringing donuts. But that's who she is in all of her life. Like, she is just a generous person. My other aunts and uncles on my mom's side of the family are like that. There's just such a spirit of generosity, and it doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be ostentatious. It can simply be quiet and subtle. And I think sometimes that's the most impactful.
This is something I think you're really good at. That I've been trying to implement over the last 2 years is, I think making specific, and this is like very practical content creation, making specific posts towards the people to give them the light they deserve in a way of gratitude. And this may be better for you to walk me through. Like, let's say you have a client that you really want to showcase online the amount of respect you have for them or what they've done in your business and your life. What's an easy way to show your appreciation for them online?
I think it comes down to simply this: say what's true. So a client of mine, I think last week, had a birthday. And so wanted, and again, showing respect is a massive, kind of value for me. And so the thing that I thought to do was just say what's true. Like, say what's true about this person and what they mean to me. And so when it comes to honoring people online, I think that that's something that's like, it's kind of like, sometimes we're not really great at it in person, and we definitely aren't great about it on social media. And so it's like, okay, well, maybe we can't all do that all the time, but when we can do it, let's do it. And so for me, it goes back to fall of 2019. I'm sitting on an airstrip in West Africa, and I had been there for 3 weeks. I really missed my family. My mom had just been diagnosed with stage 4, uterine sarcoma. We're facing this grim reality. And I just remember thinking, like, there's all this stuff swirling around in my head as I'm finally getting to head home. And this thought occurred to me: from this day forward, I'll never let someone move through my life without telling them how I feel. And so I do that. I do that with my wife. I do that with my kids. I do that with my friends. I do that with the random people that I haven't talked to in years. I'll just send them a note and say, hey, listen, you were on my mind today. I don't know why, but I'm really thankful for X, and then give them something specific.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll send them a Starbucks gift card or a DoorDash gift card, just because I want them to know that like there's that weight, that gravity to what they've meant to me. And so, yeah, I think it's just something that we can do that's practical and it's easy.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be big.
Well, I wonder this too. When is the last time a company or like a specific person in a company has received an email of thankfulness
Yeah.
from another like client or from another company? Like, I can't think I've ever actually received an email of like someone saying like, hey man, I'm so grateful for everything you did this year for it. Like, as a business owner, you want to stand out a little bit at the end of the year and like show your appreciation for the people you got to work with this year. Wouldn't that be shocking if you send an email on Monday morning coming up before Thanksgiving saying, dude, like, I'm so grateful that we were able to connect and like work together this year. And I just want to let you know, like, this Thanksgiving week, like I am very thankful for everything that we've done this year. And I just hope you keep being you, basically.
Can I give you 3 examples?
Yes.
That have happened to me in the last 12 months? So, I can think of one client who they were transitioning out and heading into a new chapter of their life. And I'd gotten them a gift, and when I went to give it to him, they had given me a gift in return, and it was a signed copy, an autographed copy of one of my favorite authors, a book from this person. And like just that level of intentionality, because what it showed me was like they listened to who I really liked. That was one. Another one was there's a client that I have worked with for a long time. And I had this really unique situation where Whit was out of town on a girls' vacation, and I was also in it was the busiest work week of my entire year. And she was like, no, just bring your girls with you. And she was like, we will make it work. And like that level of commitment that we have formed this deep level of trust over like 4 or 5 years of working together. Like that's just unheard of generosity. Another one was this summer I had worked with a friend of mine for a long time now. We met through work, and we had pulled off kind of this massive improvement in this system that we had worked on. And a couple weeks after we finished up working together and he'd flown back home, I get this bottle of wine in the mail. And it was customized to me as a thank you gift from him. And so there's like 3 kind of varying levels of, investment, but all 3 of which made me feel seen. And so if I were going to give like an encouragement to people, like, hey, if you want to show just, thankfulness, you're watching this on Monday night, Thanksgiving is a couple of days away. It doesn't have to be big. Just send a text or an email and say something that will make that person feel seen, that it's not blanket, it's specific.
Yeah. There's this company I work with, and they're a livestock company, and I've done some video work for them. And man, something that stuck out to me, just kind of popped up in my mind is like, number one, they are very, very giving. And so both times I've worked with them on projects, he'll go to pay me, write me a check, and he just gives me a little extra, number one. And it's like, that has stuck with me so much. And it's not that like, oh my gosh, he's giving me so much more money. No, it's just like just enough where he's like, here's a little bit more, like, thank you for what you've done. And then he also, like I said, has given me some of their merchandise with their logos on it. And for some reason that like has stuck with me so much. Like, he knows as a small business owner the grind that is owning a business. And he knows that, like, from my point of view. And so what he's done is just give me like a little bit of appreciation for what I'm doing, basically. And so I've started to implement that. I had someone come over to the house and pressure wash my house, and he has a small business, pressure washing business. And I think it's very relative. Whatever you can do to show that little bit of extra like appreciation, do it. So if it's like you got a loaf of bread, homemade sourdough in the kitchen, give the sourdough. But like for me, it's like, man, like I know he's out here grinding. I'm gonna give him a little bit more, like just to show that. Here's my question to you. We're kind of talking in a very kind of like spoiled sense, in that the fact that like everybody's grateful for what they do. Let me ask you this. How do you find gratefulness or gratitude in a situation that you're just kind of not enjoying? Because we're kind of talking, we love what we do. We love like our business. Now, how do you find gratitude in the moments that are like not going good, in the moments that are stressful, in the moments that are just like, it's very difficult?
So I think probably by admitting, first of all, where I developed the kind of the roots of my senses of gratitude were not in a season that I was having fun. It was a season of immense stress. It was a season of a lot of things going on that I did not like. And I just remember one day waking up to this reality of having a choice. I had a choice. I could either choose to continue to feel bad or like I was going to complain, or I could choose to focus on what's one small thing that I could be thankful for. And I started out by choosing that I was thankful for a warm cup of coffee in the morning. And in fact, I committed to doing on Twitter, that was at the beginning of the pandemic.
Walk me through that.
In fact, so that was the season. It was stressful because of the pandemic. I loved the team I was working with at the school system. Oh my goodness. Like, I don't want to go back to those days, but I sometimes miss them just because of how close we were. But I committed on Twitter 3 things I'm grateful for every day. And it was like, I'm thankful for waking up in a warm bed. I'm thankful for a warm cup of coffee for my kids, running into the kitchen in the morning. What that did was train my brain. I started looking for things to be grateful for. And so I kind of like stumbled into this accidentally, that I trained myself to be thankful for small things. And dude, like that small buzz in the back of your head when you're opening up Christmas gifts on Christmas morning, that's what it began to feel like every day. And there hasn't really been a day since then. It's been 4 years now where I haven't had that small buzz in the back of my head, like, I'm looking for things to be thankful for instead of looking for things to complain about.
Yeah. Well, I think too, like it's sometimes hard in life to just slow down every once in a while and actually like think or reflect. I did a similar thing whenever I was in college. Mine was more so like I kind of vowed to reach out to one person a day that I was grateful for, that has impacted my life over the years, and send them a text or get them over the phone and kind of just and not even like send them a text like, hey, I'm grateful for you, but just almost like a check-in. And over time, over the period of like a few weeks, is what I realized is like, if I could just be a little spark of inspiration in someone's life, it actually reflected back on to me, like it made me feel a little bit better. And college was not like, if you've been to college, it's not an easy time. And this particular season wasn't an easy time for me. Like I was very stressed. And so I needed something that I felt kind of just better on a daily basis. And so that's what I did. Not that I like figured it out or like cracked the code, but I just needed to like trick my mind into knowing like, I should be feeling a little bit better, like in this season of stress. And so texting one person every single day or calling one person every single day and saying like, hey man, like it's been 3 years, but I just wanted to let you know, like that one conversation or that one thing you did for me that one time, like it's stuck with me over these years. And I just want to check in, like, how you doing? Like it was that simple. And it really just, it was kind of a mirror effect. Like as I spoke that, better things or better feelings like started happening in my life.
And I think that's the thing about gratitude is a lot of times people are like, well, I'm afraid of doing this because I don't want people to think I'm a try hard, But the beautiful thing is, it's kind of like we've talked about this before. When we talk about money, when we talk about how to earn money, we talk about how to spend money, when we talk about being good, stewards of whatever we have, that doesn't make us feel like we're like braggadocious. Instead, like when I hear you talking about like business money stuff, I'm like, oh man, now I've got an idea. Now I've got an idea on how to be more generous.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way that gratitude works. When we talk about the things that we're grateful for, we talk about ideas on how to express gratitude. Let's be real honest for a minute. Especially as men, we're conditioned growing up to not be expressive of how we feel.
Right.
And I feel like the men who I look up to the most, that are the best examples of men that I want to be like when I'm older, they are good. They've developed the skill of expressing gratitude, of those, some people call them soft skills. I would call them essential skills. Because that's what matters. If you want to talk about how to develop the next generation of creators or business leaders, I think we have to get better at communicating how we feel about things.
Yeah. And I will say this too, if whenever I was going through kind of like really stressful moments in my life and continue to do so in certain seasons, one thing I've really tried to integrate and focus on a daily basis is writing down, like, if I'm not where I want to be, writing down where I do want to be. And then even branching off from that is like, what can I do on a daily basis to get one little step closer to that thing? That's not really like a thing that shows gratitude, but it's just a thing that like can advance a little closer into this stress-free life or getting through this like stressful season. Like I'm just on the back end of like my stressful time of the year. And so that's what I did. Like, okay, I want by Thanksgiving to have like a pretty easy slate. And so the last couple months, I've been thinking like on a daily basis, what could I do today? By the time Thanksgiving rolls around, things are going to like feel a little bit better. And in years past, I never did that. I looked at it as a whole. All the work I had to do, all the things I had to do, and I grouped them all together. And so this year, I took, the larger thing, and then I broke it down into bite-sized chunks. And I don't know if that's just me getting a little older and getting like more efficient, but I like before we even got on the podcast, I was like, this is the best year I've ever had, like structured-wise. Like I feel so structured, and I think it is because I didn't look at it from the big picture. Or I did for a second, and then I said, okay, how can we take this thing and just get a little bit of it done today? And so by the time 2 months from now, like I feel a little bit better. And that is what has happened. Like I got done with a video today, got done with an assignment today, and I know I have like one more thing before Thanksgiving. But man, a month ago, I could have just like, it goes back to our creative burnout episode. When you look at things from an overwhelming picture, like things are overwhelming when you group them all together. But when you like try to separate and say like, let's just work on this thing today, man, it has been a powerful lesson this year learning that. And I don't know how I learned it, but I did. And I'm grateful for it.
Man, I think that's so good. And I think it's a perfect segue into our final segment. So segment number 3 of the week.
Yes.
We're going to close out on a little something fun here.
Yep.
It's Thanksgiving. So this is going to release on Monday night. Thanksgiving is obviously on Thursday. We need to have a Hoedown Showdown. Hoedown Showdown.
Okay.
What is the all-time Thanksgiving side dish?
And I just want to throw this out here. I am a 10-year-old at heart when it comes to my food plate. I wish I wasn't.
Why do you wish you weren't?
I don't wish I wasn't.
Don't you feel any shame?
Back.
This is a shame-free
Like if you look at my plate on a Thanksgiving meal, there's like 2 colors, and that is okay. We are not throwing no greens on a plate on Thanksgiving. That
I'm gonna throw greens.
You throw greens for me. You get an extra serving for me this Thanksgiving.
I'm gonna throw down some green beans.
That's okay.
Bro.
Perfect side dish. Now here's the secret. Actually, I do have a good one. So there's a 3-in-1. Do you know this trifecta?
Bro, I'm about to learn. I'm taking notes. What do you got for me?
It's an easy trifecta. Everybody knows about it.
Let me hear about
Here's the trifecta. It's actually a quadfecta if you actually throw in the 4th one. So here's the perfect mixture of food. You get your mashed potatoes, right?
All right.
And take notes because this is what y'all need on Thanksgiving. You get your mashed potatoes. You, of course, get your macaroni and cheese. Mm-hmm. You get your corn. Mm-hmm. And just have a little fun with those 3 together.
Okay.
then throw in a little bit of the roll at the end.
Bro, we're not even. There's no protein.
That's okay.
Just straight carbon. I love it.
But then you also mix in the turkey every now and then. But get the mashed potato on the fork, get the corn, get the mac and cheese. Let that be one bite by itself.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
While that one is settling, go ahead and take a bite of the roll.
Bro, I'm inspired.
Yeah.
This is. You are
Now
Michelangelo.
that is what the 10-year-old would also be eating over there in the kids' table.
This is professional football level.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you. I have a hot take.
Are you writing this down?
I did. I even structured it. I even structured it to come back to. Listen, I have a hot take on turkey.
Okay.
You can miss me with that oven baked turkey. Miss me with it.
Yeah, it's grown on me.
No, it's not because it's dry. It's dry and it's grody.
You want to know the
it's
secret?
dusty. Listen. I'm gonna throw some facts at you
Okay.
real quick. My father-in-law will deep fry a turkey, and I'll eat the whole thing myself.
So it's not turkey; it's just oven baked turkey.
Yeah, oven baked turkey. No, I'm fine with turkey, but you gotta have somebody. Listen, Thanksgiving's not the day to trust the ship to a rookie. You gotta trust that to a seasoned captain, and my father-in-law is the captain of the turkey ship.
Really?
He's gonna deep fry that turkey, but he's already injected it with some nonsense ahead of time, and then the problem is I lose control. Now, also, it's the time of year to say this: spatchcock it and smoke it. Have you ever had spatchcocked smoked turkey? It's where you cut the spine out, you lay it flat, and you smoke that bird.
I see. Maybe I have once.
It is a close
I think last
second.
year, actually.
It's a close second, but I'm not going to lie. Some people need to step out of the way when my father-in-law fires up the deep fryer because he's about to do some magic.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what happens in there, but you watch the master cook.
Now, here's the issue with my holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, I come from a big family.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, I come from divorced parents.
Mm-hmm.
Number three, I'm married into a family. Two families.
Two families.
Technically.
Okay.
The first Thanksgiving meal is always fine. It's the fifth Thanksgiving meal.
That's going to wear you out. It's going to wear you out.
Like, our Thanksgiving Day almost turned into 3 Thanksgiving meals this year.
That's too much.
And I said, hey, let's just move them around a little bit.
Let's
what we
move
say.
them.
And so we moved them around. But yeah, we have like 5 Thanksgiving meals we go to. So
Y'all need to chill out.
yeah, and we had one yesterday at church.
Okay.
So we've already knocked one out of the ballpark.
You got the Lord's Thanksgiving.
And we
out
have
of the
like
way.
4 more coming up. Holidays are a lot for married couples
with small kids.
with small kids and split families and big I mean, it is a full-time job this holiday season.
I will say my in-laws, so my wife's side of the family, it is her dad's side of the family who is having Thanksgiving on Saturday, and I have been tasked with smoking the brisket for it.
Brisket on Thanksgiving?
Because listen, my family knows how to throw down, man. Or well, my family through my wife, they know how to throw down.
Wow.
And they're like, listen, we have too much turkey. Turkey has a tyrannical hold on Thanksgiving. They're like, Caleb, will you smoke a brisket? And I said, I'm to the plate.
Really?
I am reporting for duty, and we're going to throw down.
I've never thought of brisket
I've
on
ordered
Thanksgiving.
$100 worth of smoker modifications because I will not fail my family.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going to throw down.
Okay.
I'm gonna answer the question though. Favorite side dish, hands down. My aunt growing up made a 7-layer pea salad. Had like peas, bacon, lettuce, all this stuff, and there's just something about it. It's savory.
I'm
it's
sorry.
Crunchy.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's good.
This is crazy.
No, it was.
Oh, this is
now
crazy.
Listen, you know what? And go ahead and insult my mama. Say something, because my mom would make this cranberry salad.
Oh, no.
Fresh cranberries, oranges.
Oh, no.
It was. You had all this savory stuff, and then you'd have the tart sweet. Say something. She's dead, bro. Say something. Come on.
Man,
It really was excellent.
Don't write yours down. Just write mine down.
All right, I got yours down. I'm out of respect. I'm going to build this. Now, let's close the episode. You ready?
Well, dessert real quick.
That's what we got to do. Let's close the episode on dessert.
So Key this morning threw out this, and I'm all for it. So she is the queen of pumpkin rolls. Oh. Well, actually, I take that back. Co-queen with my grandmother.
Okay.
They're the queen bees.
That's a safe statement, by the way.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. That was a smart move
You
by
saved
me.
it. You saved
So
it.
they're the queen bees, co-queen bees of Pumpkin Rope. Now,
You got to be careful with saving queen bee.
this morning we got something amazing happened, and Key said, "You know what I might do?" And I said, "What?" And she said, "I might alter the pumpkin roll." And that's a strong and bold statement.
I like it.
And
It's a bold move, Cotton.
she says, pumpkin whoopie pies. So I will check back in.
I would like to hear the report
I will
on
check
this.
back in. And I said, well, and I stopped her. I said, well, here's the kicker about a good whoopie pie, because I don't think she knows, but I do know. Here's the
hang
kicker.
on. No. I'm going to edit your statement. She knows, bro.
I don't know if she knows the whoopie pie game, but here's what I told her. I said, here's
Trying to help
the
you.
key, the two keys to a whoopie pie.
Yeah.
I said the ratio
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
and the quality of the cream in the whoopie pie.
Yeah.
Those are the two.
Yeah.
And most important, the cake you can kind of lack on the cake just a little bit. That's okay. But you got to have a strong cream filling and ratio cake to cream filling. So I will check back in.
Okay.
What's your dessert?
I'm going to go classic, man. I want someone to hit me with a pumpkin pie and some whipped cream on top.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's grown on me over the years.
Yeah. And listen, you know why? Because it's a standard. It lifts its own way. Now, if you're going to,
Do people eat that hot? Is that a hot?
no, it's cold.
It's always cold.
Well,
See, I don't eat it, but
oh man, actually, that's a good question. Maybe it's just family tradition wise. I've always eaten it
Cold.
like cold. I will say though, don't bring store bought pies to family Christmas.
Right.
We were from the country.
right.
Okay. Don't
Right.
miss us with that store bought stuff.
Yeah, unless it's bought from a local
Oh, no.
lady, because that's okay.
That's more than okay. Sometimes it's best to leave it.
Don't be afraid to call upon the professional.
Sometimes, listen, if you have an expert in your community, leave it to the expert. If you feel like an amateur, don't experiment on a holiday. You experiment weeks ahead of
Yeah.
time. I will say this, a little shout out, because again, my family threw me my birthday dinner the other night. Local artisan, Allison Elmore, with the cheesecakes.
I think I've heard of her.
Dude,
Local legend.
local legend. I mean,
I'm pretty sure she makes Key's birthday cheesecake.
it is.
I think.
It's unfair of how good she is at it.
Yeah.
It is. It is a delicacy. It is fine art.
Yeah.
It is. You kind of want to smack your grandma.
Yeah.
For a slice.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, smacking your grandma is a little risky.
Yeah.
But it is excellent cheesecake. I would risk the biscuit for the cheesecake.
All right.
All right, that's it, man.
The strong ending.
Strong ending.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, we got into some good places. All right, that's it for Thanksgiving. Let's end this episode before we say something that gets us banned from
I agree.
Thanksgiving. All right,
I
guys,
agree.
that's episode 17. Love y'all. We'll see you next week.
Peace.